Ladies and gentlemen, with this particular story, I got to tell you guys this. Like, I continue to find it disgusting that we have so many stories and we never run out of being able to tell these stories. Like, I'm so far backed up in my emails that I'm just like, it's mind boggling. It's depressing, to be quite honest. But I got to tell you guys about the individual that y'all see on my screen. That fool's name is Rolando Olivares, who is being charged with second degree murder. But let me tell you this story. The Lee County Sheriff's Office out of Lee County, Florida, says that a man accused of killing an infant baby in Lehigh Acres is no stranger to the law. I want y'all to think about this because we don't have the mother's name or face. We don't have the baby's face or name, but we do know that this happened. And I don't know why they continue to hide this information. You know why I believe that they hide it? Because of people like me, the people like the AFC, those people down there, those people in the live chat. Because they know that we are going to hold people accountable and we are going to start to expose these stories. Yes, we're the AFC and we believe that these children deserve real justice, and for that we can put their faces out there and really give them their due diligence. He is no stranger to the law, but currently Rolando Olivares is charged with one count of second degree murder, and he was arrested Sunday for allegedly killing a 1-year-old baby last September. The medical examiner ruled an injury to the child's head as the cause of death, which is usually blunt force trauma. According to law enforcement records, Olivares has been in and out of jail for the last 10 years. I repeat, the last 10 years. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Hashtag stupid is as stupid thugs. And I'm going to tell you guys this. I'm assuming that this was not his child. I'm assuming he was not the biological father. And I'm going to assume that the mother allowed him to be around this kid. He is not just a simple caretaker. I believe this is mom's boyfriend. So we're going to hashtag this, hashtag mom's boyfriend. We're going to expose abusers and losers, right? We're going to expose abusers and losers. Since 2010, Olivares has been arrested for things like battery, burglary, and several probation violations, which we were able to find, which the mom would have been able to find if you Google searched and looked up his history. But I can almost guarantee you that she already knew what the deal was with that fool. That's not the mom. That's one of the neighbors. Let's move on past that picture. Records at Lee County Clerk of Court show that the battery charge was connected to a domestic violence call for which Olivares was placed on probation. While Olivares' previous arrests are not linked to the death of the 1-year-old, Meg Dalabez with the Abuse Counseling and Treatment Inc. says that his past arrests show a pattern of violence. And that's what I'm talking about. Those are your red flags and yellow flags, your warning signs that maybe you shouldn't have your children around somebody like this. Look at this. They even quoted some of what I said. If someone has a previous record of perpetrating domestic violence, that is a red flag because those behaviors unfortunately don't disappear overnight. Very similar to my words, right? Former police chief Walt Zalisco agrees. He says prosecutors could use the previous arrests to build arguments in court, but details matter. They have to look at the facts of those previous cases. What kind of battery was it? Did he beat a child? Did he beat his wife? Did he beat somebody up in a bar fight? And yes, that does matter. Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino said investigators have ruled out any mishaps in the infant's death. So this was intentional. The infants that the infant sustained are suspicious and non-accidental. Dalabez says the child abuse investigators are trained to know the difference between accidents and intentional harm. Based on the placement and coloring of the injury, all of these different things to be able to best identify is this something that could have been an accident, or is this something that could have been done intentionally with a lot of force? Unfortunately, this is one of a few hundred incidents like this that will get reported this year. About 450 child homicides get reported to the Florida Department of Children and Families every single year. That number dipped below 400 in 2019 and rose to 445 in 2020. Less than 5% of the children counted in that data have seen a DCF worker before it's too late. If you know a child being abused, you are urged to call 911, hashtag see something, say something. Let me give you guys the fair use. Let me show you these news videos real quick. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. By the way, if you guys would do me a favor and please click that thumbs up if you haven't already done so, if you're listening to our stream. It helps support us in what we do here, okay? So please click that thumbs up. Here we go. Let's get it.
Hit in the head, blunt force trauma. Tonight, ABC 7's Ashley Dyer is getting us more on how investigators say they linked Olivares to the crime.
After months of investigating the death of a one-year-old boy, Sheriff Carmine Marcino says a caretaker is responsible.
Throughout the investigation, detectives confirmed that the infant suffered injuries consistent with blunt force trauma to the head.
Detectives linked Ronaldo Olivares to the heinous crime. He was arrested yesterday and charged with murder.
It's just horrible to think that the mother would not, know something was going on.
Neighbors suspect the abuse happened more.
I think they might have called his name wrong. It says Rolando, R-O-L-A-N-D-O. They might have got it wrong, but sometimes we get their names wrong. But screw him. He's a criminal. We don't care about how to pronounce his name right. So we're going to call him the fake-ass DJ Khaled, okay? So maybe they might have got his name wrong, but I know what he do look like. He looks like a low-budget DJ Khaled. Let me see if I can get his face up here. I want y'all to look at that. Y'all look at that face. DJ Khaled, we the best. Look at the top of this dude's head. Like, where was that picture at? At the top of his head. Look at this. Like, what is that on the top of his head? New music, DJ Khaled. Fat ass. All right, anyway, let's keep going.
Oh, something was going on.
Neighbors suspect the abuse happened more than once.
I'm sure the guy didn't just up and beat the kid's head in one day just because, they wouldn't cry, and all the rest of the time he was fine. There had to have been a sign somewhere.
Olivares is behind bars tonight.
It's very scary, especially knowing that they live in my neighborhood. It all comes out in the laundry later on.
For beating a baby in the head so violently he died. I'm Lois Tomey.
And I'm Russ McCaskey. Chris Safadi is off tonight. U.S. Marshals arrested 30-year-old Rolando Alvarez yesterday, 6 months after the one-year-old died. Wink News reporter Nicole Gabe is live at the Lee County Jail in downtown Fort Myers. And Nicole, do we know if they're related?
Well, Russ, we asked the sheriff's office about the relationship, and they would only tell us that he was an acquaintance and a person who cared for the child. But tonight, a family is without a one-year-old, and a community is in shock.
This Lehigh Acres man charged with the murder of a one-year-old boy.
DJ Khaled, we the best.
I'm truly outraged by the actions of this despicable human being. After working closely with our state attorney's office, I am proud to say that our team has put him behind bars where he belongs.
Last September 17th, deputies arrived to this house off of Homer Avenue South in Lehigh Acres and found a one-year-old boy unresponsive. According to the sheriff's office, the boy had signs of trauma to the head. On Sunday, the U.S. Marshals Regional Fugitive Task Force arrested Rolando Olivares. He faces charges of second-degree murder.
It quickly became clear that the injuries the infant sustained were suspicious and non-accidental.
Olivares' neighbor, Nick, who didn't want to go on camera, is surprised, and he recalls Olivares as a nice guy.
I never knew he was that type of person. I'm shocked that this happened.
Nick told me they used to play football together before Olivares moved.
Whenever he see me, he always come up to me, shake my hands. What's up, bro? Like, I would never think he's violent or a criminal. So this whole time I was living by a criminal. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So behind their door, they have another life. Out the door, there's another life.
And he feels for the 1-year-old's family.
It's painful. It's very painful.
I'm gonna see if y'all can hear this press conference. If not, I'll skip this one.
Announce an arrest made in the death of a 1-year-old child. Joining us today is Assistant State Attorney Francine Donarumo, Sheriff Carmine Marcino, and LCSO Case Detective James Saffold. I'll turn it over to you, Sheriff.
Good morning, I'm Sheriff Carmine Marcino. Thank you for being here today. On September 17th, 2020, deputies responded to a home on Homer Avenue South in Lehigh Acres in reference to a 1-year-old child who was located unresponsive. Shortly after our arrival, the child was transported to Lehigh Regional Medical Center to receive medical treatment. The child was later moved to Tampa General Hospital, where he was unfortunately pronounced deceased. Detectives with our major crime unit assumed the investigation. Along with the crime scene unit technicians, detectives gathered statements and collected evidence. It quickly became clear that the injuries the infant sustained were suspicious and non-accidental. Detectives identified a suspect as 30-year-old Rolando Alvarez. Throughout the investigation, detectives confirmed that the infant suffered injuries consistent with blunt force trauma to the head. Yesterday, Alvarez was located and arrested by the U.S. Marshals Regional Fugitive Task Force. He's now being charged with second-degree murder.
That's them arresting him. So there's nothing wrong with the sound. He's just pausing to show that.
I will always make it my priority to dedicate all the necessary resources to help those who cannot help themselves. The hard work and dedication of our homicide unit is unmatched. I am truly outraged by the actions of this despicable human being. After working closely with our state attorney's office, I am proud to say that our team has put him behind bars where he belongs. My heart goes out to the family of this innocent child, and we hope this arrest can bring them closure. I've made myself clear. I will not tolerate abusive behavior of any kind in Lee County. Thank you for being here today, and I'll take some questions.
Sheriff, can you tell us about the relationship between that 1-year-old and...
I want y'all to watch how they... I know they answer these questions in a particular way, but notice how when they ask, is the baby related to this man, meaning is it his kid, or asking about the mom and all of this stuff, and they just like, they don't say anything, and I don't like that.
He was a person of care, so he was an acquaintance person of care for that child.
I was going to ask the same question. Was this, what about the mother? Is the mother in connection with him? Were they related?
Again, the relationship is basically a person that has access to the child and a caretaker.
Was the child a boy or a girl? Did you mention that?
Well, the child was a boy. Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you. Thanks for being here.
They said a caretaker and an acquaintance. He didn't even want to tell the fact that it was a boy that was murdered. I don't understand why they're so secretive, especially if the child is already passed away, if the child is already dead, then it doesn't present a danger to put their information out. But what they're trying to do, and I'm telling you, there is a concerted effort, and I know it's not all women, it's not all mothers, but it seems that our media that broadcasts to the whole world, police stations and all, I don't know if there's a collaborative effort to try to protect these mothers from shame, which I believe that shame is actually a really good thing in a lot of situations. because people should feel shame so that they don't act and behave certain ways, right? But we don't even have a name to call this baby. We don't have a picture to honor this baby's memory. We have nothing. And I think that really sucks. And maybe if I'm able to find the picture at a later point, I could at least put it on the thumbnail. But let me say to that baby, young Prince, the little boy, R.I.P. To call this man a caretaker, it'd be better to call him, instead of a caretaker, to call him a low budget, broke ass DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled, we the best caretakers. New album coming soon. New jail cell coming soon. DJ Khaled. Just saying, you funny looking ass dude. Look like he was on an episode of Home Alone. When y'all remember that Kevin McAllister put that torch up there and torched the top of the Wet Bandit's head. That's what the top of his head looked like. Let me see if I can get y'all a better picture up here. Let me see if I can find it. That right there. Look at the top of that fool's head. Oh my goodness. Just saying. Funny looking dude, but like I said, man, with him being as sloppy looking as he looks, you should have known that he wasn't going to be a good person to leave your children around. And especially the fact that he has a long criminal history. Let me reiterate. Battery, burglary, and several probation violations. That's who you left your kid around. So why would we continue to keep protecting these mothers from their own bad choices? I think that they need to be exposed just as well as Rolando Olivares, a.k.a. DJ Khaled on crack. They all need to be exposed for hurting our babies. We believe babies' lives matter, as you can tell from the t-shirt. I'm DJ Just Jay. This is not a me thing, but it's a we thing. We're the AFC. We're going to continue to keep putting the foot on the necks of people like that. From my heart to yours, I love you all. Thank y'all for listening with an open mind as well as an open heart. From my heart to yours, y'all have a great day. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys on the next stream, okay? Peace.